Hi guys, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we've got another Ganzo for you. This time we've got the F759M. We've got a pair of them. These are knives that are within the 3-inch limit that a lot of people have to live with. Backlock, a light little knife that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in because the price point is quite low. The quality is very good for the price, and the availability is high. So if you're interested at all in a knife this size, it even comes in a black, a bright blue, even a pink. And you can get it a black version with partial serrations for those of you who are interested in that. Typical 440C that Ganzo does, but I'm getting ahead of myself. If you're interested at all in this knife, stick around for the full review because here it comes. The F759M is another one of the new knives from Ganzo, very recent release, 2017, that they're released that is under the 3-inch limit mark. That's about 7.5 centimeters. There's a lot of jurisdictions around the world, and even in the US, where you can't carry knives that are longer than 3 inches. And this knife is one of those that you can carry. And I really appreciate that Ganzo has gone ahead and made a number of knives that way. This one's in their Firebird line, hence the label F759M, and the M is the designation of being a little bit smaller. It's a nice backlock knife, very light, a nice belly and blade on this design, works really well. Yes, it's reminiscent of some other knives that we're all very familiar with. And, you know, that's fine with me. It's not an attempt at a clone. They very clearly have this branded for Ganzo and the Firebird line. Do you want to talk about the specs of this knife first? Let's do that. 440C steel on the blade, glass-filled something for the handle. I've asked them if it's a polymer or if it's nylon. I believe it's a polymer and not a nylon, but we'll see from their response. The dimensions of this knife, that 440C steel, the cutting edge that we have, so measured right from where the ricasso ends here, there's no sharpener's choil. That's too bad. I like a sharpener's choil. Most of Ganzo's knives has a nice sharpener's choil, but this little less expensive one doesn't. By the way, you can get this for less than $10 US. So the dimensions. The cutting edge is 6.43 centimeters, which is just over 2.5 inches, 2.53. The thickness of the blade here is 2.5 millimeters, which is 0.1 inches. The thickness of the steel behind the grind is 0.54 millimeters, which is 0.02 inches, which is very good for an EDC. Full flat grind that we have here comes to a nice, very stabby tip. Bit of a belly and then a long flat area there. The blade itself is 7.43 inches. That's from the end of the handle to the tip of the blade. That's 2.92 inches, so it fits into that 3-inch law. The length of the handle here is 10.26 centimeters, which is 4.04 inches. And the handle thickness, the screws stick out a little bit more, so just this handle material, the thickness around, outside of that, 1.02 centimeters, which is 0.4 inches. The pocket clip is totally 4-position pocket clip. You can put it at tip down position, which means it's that's the deepest carry that you can have, and yet it's still over 1/2 inch exposed. Or you can have a tip up carry, and then you've got more than 1 inch of the knife exposed. I'll show you what that looks like right now in my pocket tester. And so there you go, it slides into the pocket, and that's how much of it shows. And the pocket clip is Ganzo's typical style, you know, that spoon that's really nice, all rounded. It works so well. to slide into your pocket and slide back out. It offers just enough retention so that it's not going to fall out, and yet just light enough that it's not difficult to put in and take out. Really, really well done that way. The back lock on this knife is, your typical, back lock. Very solid, locks up tight. There's a tiny bit of side-to-side blade play on all of them, and that's just because this material that they use for the handle is a little bit softer, and so it has a bit of flex to it. And that's what you're feeling. You're feeling the flex of the material. You've got Torx screws all over the place in case you need to take it apart, and it comes apart easily and cleanly. If you need to do some maintenance to it or just clean it up or whatever, that works really well. The back lock has got a nice little cutout right there. There you go. The back lock's got a nice little cutout right there, so it fits into your thumb to actuate it really well. Easy to do. So being a back lock, it's completely ambidextrous, and along with that 4-point pocket clip, really, really good. The lanyard hole is, it's actually, even though it's right there, your blade's not going to cut into it, so it's, it works right there. 550 paracord fits through there. You might have to melt the end and roll it together before you can fit it through there really well. That's fine. 3 screws on the pocket clip keep the pocket clip really strong as well. It's a good looking knife. It comes in all these colors. This OD green, this orange, a bright blue. I'll show a picture of the bright blue right here. Black, and even a pink. The black also comes with an optional blade that's partially serrated, so you can get that as well. The serrated one actually costs a little bit more. It costs more money to do the manufacturing of the serrations and stuff, and that's probably why. The knife blade has got jimping both in this front sneak up choil and on your thumb ramp. So if you want to get really close to do some close-up work, the blade is really good for that. The handle design as well. So you fit your index finger up there and your thumb here. A lot of good control, great dexterity this way, and very good to use. Very easy, delicate. My hand is a large size hand, and it fits in there really well. A little bit closer to medium than it is to extra large. So if you're just using the back end of it, it just barely fits in there with a tiny bit extra. And when you're using the sneak up, you got lots extra. So somebody with a large size hand is going to find this okay to use. Medium or even small, you're going to find this more than adequate. You're going to enjoy this knife a lot. The weight of it is just 66 grams, which is 2.3 ounces. And, it's a good looking knife. The texture on the handle right there is these one direction little ramp things. So it's just made so that it's hard to pull back. It pushes this way quite easily, but pull back that way more difficult. With this front choil and the jimping and that big thumb ramp right there, it's quite safe that if you do a stabbing motion and run into something, chances are very low your hand's going to slip over. It's always possible, but it's very low. You've also got jimping on the handle on this plastic right here. There you go, that angle, you can see it quite well. So that adds a lot more traction as well without getting hot in the hand. Works really good for that. Sorry, I keep saying good when I should be saying well. My English is just so poor. The handle feels good in the hand. The weight is great. The look is nice. You can use the circle, the hole, it's not a circle, it's an oval, to actuate the blade one-handed easily enough. I can close the knife one-handed. It's much safer, though, to close your knife two-handed. It's a good-looking knife, good-feeling knife. I like it an awful lot. Let's do a little bit of cut tests with this. We've got some cardboard here. You can see those clean edges that are cut with that. Works really well. Paracord. It just slides through paracord. Whoa! It just slides through paracord very easily as well. No problem to cut that. Very good blade for that. This is 7-strand 550 paracord. Here we go, we got some copy paper. This is regular 20-pound copy paper. You can just hear that nice smooth cut, and that's after I EDC'd this knife for a few weeks. And I could just cut paper like this for days on end. I love cutting paper when it's cutting really well, when you got a nice sharp blade. So from the factory, this edge is just great. Really good knife. And at just under $10 US, this knife is easy enough for anybody to afford. It's a quality knife. What are the cons? The cons are, I don't like this pocket clip positioning. I wish they would have. See, you've got three screws back here, one screw up there. It does take more screws for a back lock, but I wish that screw there, that's at the end, would be shared with this screw right here, so that there'd be 3 holes here, and those 3 holes would be the 3 holes for the pocket clip. That way your tip-up position would be deeper. That's a con. I wish they would have done that. If they do a second edition of this knife, I suggest that they make that change. It will be very welcome. Everybody will like that change. Tip down position, which I really don't mind at all. I've got a whole separate video on tip up versus tip down. I don't mind tip down. This knife, I would probably usually carry tip down just because it'll fit deeper in the pocket. And I'll give you a picture of how this looks with that pair of jeans in the tip down position. The pros, everything else. Great steel, great grind. Actually, another con was that sharpener's choil. I wish it had that. Great feel in the hand, good grip, great weight, looks good, very good for EDCing. Price, everything else about it, I really, really like an awful lot. If you're not yet a subscriber of my channel, please subscribe. It makes a big difference to me. It really helps this channel out in more ways than I can speak about right now. Comment, please. Share your opinions and feelings about this knife or any other knife. If you like this video, even if you don't like the knife, please click on the thumbs up. That helps me as well. And share this video with your friends and on your social media or just in an email or whatever. Thank you so much for doing all those things. It really helps this channel out a lot. And remember, always cut towards your chum and not your thumb.